Good afternoon, how are you? My name is Noel Coria and I will be leading this first training session as part of the launch of the new version of Autologica's KDMS with integrated analytics. The goal is to go over key indicators for the sales department, understand what they reveal, how often to measure them, and what actions to take to improve the results. I would like to remind you that you can submit your questions in the chat or by using the Q&A button, and I will address them at the end of the course. For those of you attending one of these sessions for the first time, let me introduce who we are and what we do. Autologica is a management software tailored for automotive dealerships, agricultural machinery, construction equipment, truck and motorcycle dealerships. Since it's focused on the automotive industry, it meets 100% of a dealership's needs, whether they operate multiple branches, import vehicles and parts, work in fluctuating markets, or are part of an official network, etc. On top of this, we provide industry-specific features. For example, parts features to maintain a healthy inventory, increase sales and reduce emergency purchases, service features to detect bottlenecks in the workshop, improve the customer experience and enhance technical performance, and sales features to control every commercial process, manage used and direct sales, and analyze the actual cost of each sale, etc. The update launched this month adds a new dimension to the system. If Autologica already handled 100% of the daily operations for each department, it now helps enhance strategic decision making by incorporating integrated analytics into the system. We propose a new daily routine starting the day by reviewing the key indicators for each department and the business to make informed decisions without intermediaries, data merging, or errors. This training cycle, starting today, aims to cover the main indicators for each department, analyze their impact on key processes, and explore the various interpretations we can draw. Additionally, we'll consider some actions that can help reverse negative outcomes. One more thing before we start. To ensure this information is readily available, we are creating our KPI library. This is a section of our website where you can access each of the indicators we'll discuss, find more detailed information about them, measurement suggestions, and improvement actions. Use it as a guide or a daily reference. Our idea, or rather our goal, is for you to develop a new routine where you accompany your morning coffee with a healthy and insightful dose of data. The indicators we'll look at today can be calculated and measured daily using Autologica. In fact, with the new version that integrates analytics, it's easy to do so. Let me walk you through the indicators we'll cover today. Sales and billed hours, gross and net margins, part sales through service versus total part sales, parts to labor ratio, workshop part sales, in-house labor sales, in-house labor hours, budgeting and control, efficiency and productivity. All these indicators can be calculated using Autologica. Some are already available in the new web-based version of the data platform, while others are in the roadmap and will soon be accessible through the dashboards that I will show you. First, let's look at the indicators that are already available in the new version of the DMS, giving you a glimpse of the new interface. This section is accessible through the Autologica platform, which is already available to customers using the cloud version and includes the new features launched in recent years. From here, the service manager selects their department to access the dashboard they will be checking daily. I want to start with monthly summary indicators. This is essential to get an overview of how the month went, see the main indicators, and determine where to focus for the upcoming month. For example, you can see that monthly sales dropped 40% compared to the previous month, which correlates with fewer billed hours. There were fewer sales and fewer hours billed, half as many. Why did this happen? This is where it helps to drill down into each indicator. In the case of hours, for example, May is down because there was a peak in hours sold in April. If this were an agricultural machinery dealership, we might conclude that this was due to the harvest season. This is clearly reflected in the billing. But let's not stop there. While sales declined, gross and net margins exceeded their targets. We know that the gross margin is sales without considering costs, and the net margin is sales minus both costs and expenses. Drilling down into the margins, we can see that despite lower sales, the department's costs dropped significantly. But let's go a level deeper and see which costs were reduced. Here, we need a brief analysis of this. Let's look at another indicator on this main dashboard, parts to labor ratio. This indicator reveals how much labor the technician's work is billed in relation to part sales. It's crucial for understanding whether the after-sales department depends more on part sales services and labor or is at the balance point. Let's consider an example. The workshop bills $480,000 per month in parts and $180,000 in labor, meaning it sells $2.60 in parts for every dollar of labor. On the one hand, this shows that the department heavily relies on part sales, and on the other, despite the high demand for parts, service advisors aren't generating more work. By developing sales skills, advisors can encourage customers who bring in their vehicles to perform maintenance work, improving this indicator. This indicator also allows for time-based analysis, which is ideal for identifying peak months and understanding what happened. This indicator is somewhat related to another, part sales through service versus total part sales. This helps determine the percentage of total part sales that come from the counter versus the workshop. Another key indicator, which in this example is in the red, absorption rate. This indicator measures the extent to which after-sales revenues cover the dealership fixed expenses. It's particularly important during time of low sales as it reveals how much of the dealership's expenses are covered by after-sales profitability. To improve this indicator, strategies shall focus on increasing revenue and enhancing the efficiency of the service department. If technicians can complete repairs in less time, through training, better tools, and proper measurement equipment, the department's profitability will increase. If the parts department make scheduled purchases, they can avoid urgent purchases, which will increase profit margins. By controlling discount policies, profits will increase. And if they meet the factory's incentives for parts purchases, the cost will decrease and the profit will increase. Regarding the monthly progress dashboard, as I mentioned earlier, this one is different from the previous one and is for daily use. It helps track how close or far we are from the department's goals. Budget control. Before we move on to another management indicators, I would like to take a moment to discuss budgeting. This is crucial for a general manager, a CEO, owner, and department manager. It's not a KPI per se, but it's a measurement that should always be kept in mind. It answers the questions: what budget was allocated to the service department and how much has been spent? And how much did we estimate we will earn and bill, and what's the status against that target? I'm showing you this because it's important and it's something we are often asked about. It provides a much more strategic and speculative view of what the company is doing. We are talking about three types of budgets: sales, expenses, and results. It's essential to regularly analyze this information and understand that how we are allocating the budget to each department, whether it's being used as expected or far beyond what was defined, and as this is the total outcome. This also needs to be part of the set of indicators and metrics for each manager. We are back to more theoretical slides. These next indicators aren't yet available in the metrics platform, but they are in development and will be released in future versions. On the site, in the analytics section, you will find the roadmap showing what's coming in the next few months. I want to review some key indicators for managing the after-sales department, and in addition to explaining how to measure and improve them, I will tell you where to find them. For any service manager, it's crucial to have a workshop where every hour is utilized 100% and where each technician completes jobs within the expected time. The goal is to ensure that the after-sales department not only covers the dealership's fixed costs, but also becomes a profit generator. On average, a technician is allocated 176 hours each month, but what matters most to a service manager is what happens during each of those hours. If other variables such as hours worked and billed hours are not measured, it's impossible to identify issues and opportunities within the workshop. Without these variables, it's impossible to measure the actual efficiency and productivity of the department. Productivity, for instance, shows how available time is used by the technician to perform repairs. Available hours come from the total hours allocated to the technician minus the time spent on tasks unrelated to repairs, such as cleaning the workshop. These times that are not allocated to repairs are called non-productive hours, and it's important to track them to maintain control. Here are three scenarios. Ask yourself which one applies to your dealership. Efficiency, on the other hand, calculates the billed hours compared to the hours worked. It will show the capacity of each workshop technician to generate income in terms of billed hours versus worked hours. In other words, it answers the question, how efficient is each technician? Are there ways to improve these values? Absolutely. Here is a list of ideas and strategies you can consider for your workshop. Avoid generating unclear repair orders that require the technician to investigate which tasks need to be performed. Train each service advisor in sales skills so they can get more than one task in every repair order. Record every activity each technician performs. Identify which tasks each technician performs best and assign jobs accordingly to their skills. It essentially involved the combination of the job clock and the technician panel. On one hand, the job clock was set up in the workshop and each technician performed the habit of indicating the start and end of each job, marking lunch breaks, delays, and hours dedicated to other tasks such as training, cleaning, etc. With just this addition to the workshop, the manager was able to track worked hours and compare them with allocated hours. On the other hand, the workshop manager from their PC began using the technician panel to monitor in real time what was happening in the workshop. This panel shows what each technician is working on with colors indicating the status of a job. For instance, if the progress bar turns red, it means there is a delay. At the same time, they adopted the habit of checking the repair order progress every day in another Autologica app. In this application, which perhaps not everyone is familiar with, you can view all open repair orders grouped by the stage they are in. With these two tools, they started identifying delays, idle time, and bottlenecks in the repair order workflow. Labor effectiveness ratio. This is an upcoming indicator. It allows the dealership to get a real overview of the workshop's profitability per hour. For example, a customer comes in with a vehicle that requires a repair costing $65 in labor. The technician handling the job completes it in half an hour. This indicator does not have a defined benchmark, but the higher it is, the more benefits for the dealership, as it implies that labor is being sold at higher value and or that work time is reduced due to the technician efficiency. The indicators analyzed in this series of notes are essential to understanding the state of a key area for the dealership, after sales. Successful dealers consistently analyze each indicator looking for ways to improve. That concludes the first session focused on key indicators for dealerships. In the next session, we will focus on indicators for the parts department. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them here and I will personally respond them throughout the day. See you next time.